a central theme of this is that business enterprises, you know, they're subject to a lot of external factors, economic factors, industry factors, market factors, technology factors, environmental factors, and the like, and that certainly impinges on their business model and how their business model interacts with that, and how the enterprise takes in various forms or utilizes various forms of capital and transforms them are kind of key to the whole business process and to long-term sustainability of businesses. And so, if you look down this list of the different forms of capital, I think that folks in the IRC would say that current reporting largely focuses on the first or maybe the first two types of capital, but our reporting traditionally of the other types of capital there needs improvement and needs to be connected. That ultimate financial performance depends, again, on a lot of the utilization of these other forms of capital. And certainly sustainability and financial performance depend on these different types of capital. This is a pictorial representation of the framework as it exists currently. The green framing picture there is on what they call the guiding principles. And inside the guiding principles are the key content elements that would be covered in an integrated report. The guiding principles are strategic focus, connecting the information, not just producing it in a modular or silo form, how there's the interactions between the various key content elements, that it should be oriented not only to talking about what happened, but also what are the key goals and risks and opportunities, that it should be responsive to the needs and input of the various stakeholders of an enterprise, and that it should be focused on what really matters in these contexts. Content elements, you can read them for yourself. I won't go over them, but again, it's kind of taking how the business operates, the context in which it operates, its objectives, its performance against those objectives, and how it deals in these various different performance realms and its risks and opportunities. There is a pilot program that's been kicked off. It's a 2-year program, and the idea there is through the program to help develop this framework and best practices, and as I said, next year an exposure draft of the framework. There's about currently 50 companies. There's one Canadian company called Van City, which is a cooperative bank or lending institution based in Vancouver, and they already practice something close, one version of what one might call integrated reporting. And in your packages, you've got a few pages from their 2010 annual report. But for people who say that this can't be done, I would encourage you to look at their report, and another one referenced that you've got a copy of a few pages in is the Southwest Airlines report, which, Southwest Airlines is an SEC registrant, so it has a lot of those constraints, of lawyers and SEC and all that we talk about. Yet, if you read their report, it gets at a lot of the things that the IRC is talking about. And I will tell you also that in certain other parts of the world, probably the most advanced one is South Africa, where by law now companies either have to provide, I guess it's by the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, probably not law, have to produce an integrated report or explain why they haven't. things in this direction can be done. It's a matter, though, of coordination and kind of, not saying, okay, here's a barrier, what are we going to do about it? If it's a regulatory barrier or a legal barrier or stock exchange barrier or standard setter barrier, there are things that can be addressed to make this happen, if in fact you think this is a good thing to happen. There was a conference at Harvard Business School about a little over a year ago, and one or two of the key people involved in the Southwest Airlines, what they call One Report, was there and talked about their processes there. And it requires a commitment from the top of the organization. The CEO there really believes in this and believes that it's not only important to report these things, but to, again, walk the talk in terms of how they set their goal, important goals, and what they measure people against and the like. The second is that Southwest Airlines, although their stock market performance goes up and down, has probably been held out for a number of years as kind of the model airline in the U.S. in terms of employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction, efficiency, and just kind of general caring about people and the like. So I think they have they've built up certainly a reputational brand on those things. Anyway, there's 50 companies, and there's some very interesting, household name types companies there. In the U.S., there's, for example, Coca-Cola and Microsoft, and there's HSBC. There's I saw Advanced City from Canada, but there are companies from various parts of the world that are participating in this pilot program, basically trying to take their existing reporting and develop integrated reporting out of their existing reporting. And here you kind of see the time cycle, and there's various milestones and touch points along the way there. It is not too late to get into the pilot program, I understand. If you're interested or you know of companies that might be interested, I'd encourage you to go to the IRC's website, which I think is www.theiirc.org, and it describes more of the pilot program and how to sign up for it as well. They're also enlisting an investor group to advise on this and be involved in this whole thing to kind of make sure that the result is what investors seem to be looking for. And with that, I always say that I get to this point and I begin to remind myself of the little boy with 2 medals pinned to his chest. He's got a little silver medal and a big gold medal. And if you ask him, what'd you get the little silver one for? He says, for singing. And he said, what did you get the big gold one for? He says, for stopping. So I will stop, and maybe we can get some questions and discussion going. Thank you.
Well, an outreach event such as this is very important for a number of reasons. One, education. It's so important on such emerging topics like integrated reporting that we reach out to leaders, corporate leaders across Canada, and educate them on what's happening. The second really important aspect of this is actually getting their input and getting their feedback. And as they attend and participate with events like this, we get to hear what they feel about these emerging issues.